And thank you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Cortney Bloomer, here at the Brewery Arts Center with this week's guest, David Bugli from Carson City Music Festival, Jazz and Beyond. Welcome, David.
Thank you for having me, Courtney.
Jazz and Beyond has been going on now in Carson City for about 12 years. It is a Carson City summer tradition. What's on tap for this year's event?
Well, we have about 60 events between August 7th and the 23rd. So we have a lot of it, and most of them are free. We have two events that are that charge admission, and we're also pairing up with the some restaurants in town and that are also presenting music. So it's not everything is our presentation, but we're working with Tahoe Ridge. They're doing some presentation. Carson Mall. We're working with, of course, Kama Coffee, that's been a big partner, and Brewery Arts Center. You know, we're using some of the facilities here for presenting some of the events, and it's incredible what we have here. I'm going to talk about our two paid events first. Okay. First off, the first event that we have that's a paid event is the Speakeasy Dance Party. And that's going to be at the Brewery Arts Center.
It's going to be held here.
Yeah, in what's called the Black Box, the Maisie Jesse I forget what.
Maisie Jesse Harris Black Box
Theater. I want to do it right because I knew Maisie. And we're going to be having a group called Brass Knuckles. They performed last year. They kind of dress up in the 1940s type zoot suits, or where they dress up a little bit in that style. And they perform this wonderful dance music. We're going to bring in some dance instructors. We were hoping we could do some aerial silks, but we can't do that. So but we had somebody who was prepared to do that. So
I just want to point out, with this event, the swing dance event is going to be big band style music. So even though
I think it's an 8-piece or 9-piece band.
Even though the event is called Jazz and Beyond, there's a lot of beyond. There's a lot of music that's not what people would traditionally think of as jazz.
Right. We have some rock type of things. Yeah. So that's the first one. So that's going to be, as I said, at the Black Box Theater. The other paid event is going to be a Motown concert featuring Lloyd Williams, and he was Otis Day and the Knights in Animal House.
Okay.
And it was his voice. It wasn't his face, and he finally has won some court battles, so he can actually lay claim to this because he did the voice. He wasn't credited in the film, but anyhow, he's just a wonderful singer. He's going to be inducted in October into the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame in Detroit.
But we're going to have him right here in Carson City. Where's that concert taking place?
That's going to be at the community center, and that's going to be on Tuesday, August 18th, from 7 to 9 p.m.
Now that is a ticketed event.
Yes.
If people want to purchase tickets for this event, how much are they, and where can people get tickets?
Oh, you asked me a question about money. I think the tickets for that event are $15. I think the concert is on a sliding scale. But you can find this information if you go to jazzcarsoncity.com.
Okay.
They have that information there. I'm more of the artist. I don't deal with
all
the money
right,
so much,
all right.
Okay? Or you can call us at 883-4154, and you can ask about that. I meant to bring along a poster for that event, and I didn't. So it would have that information on it. Now, this Motown performance is also keyed into a lecture we're doing the day before on Monday the 17th, and it's John Shipley. In the last 2 years, we've had him do a history of rock, which is based upon the course he was teaching at Western Nevada College. We asked him to take a whole semester course and break it down to 90 minutes. He did a fantastic job, but he felt like there was a lot more he could cover. So last year we had the history of the Beatles, and we brought in a group called a Beatles Flashback. So, and that was proved to be a great event. So we're going to have that on Monday night. We're going to have the lecture, which is free, at the Brewery Arts Center Performance Hall. And then we're going to have, the next night, we're going to have this Motown concert. Yeah, John Shipley's going to participate, and his wife, Cherie Shipley, and Liz Brosco, and Trey, I can't forget his last name. He was also going to be admitted into the this Hall of Fame in Detroit, the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. So we've got kind of like an all-star cast that is appearing in that. But we have a lot of other events. We open on Friday, the August 7th, with what we call the Garden Party. It's at the Bliss Mansion. It's with a group called Take This, which is actually involves the Shipleys. And before the actual performance, we're going to have an art sale on the porch of the mansion, the Bliss Mansion, out on the corner of Elizabeth and Robinson Streets.
Oh, right here
That's
in downtown.
Yeah. So the art sale is from 3 to 6:30, and then at 7 o'clock is this free event at the Bliss Mansion, which is a lot of fun. Then the next day, Saturday, among the events that we have is a documentary about harmonica playing, which is called Pocketful of Soul. And we're actually having the director of the film come out, and he's going to talk. They're going to show the film. There's two versions of the film. We're going to show the 45-minute version of the film, and the director's going to talk about it. And then there's going to be a trio featuring Tom Stryker, who's a jazz harmonica player from around here, and they're going to perform for that. And that's one of our featured events. And then I mentioned the Speakeasy Dance Party. We have that. We have the Motown lecture and performance. On Friday, the 17th, which is the third weekend of the festival, we're going to put up a stage on 3rd Street. Third Street is going to be closed off for Friday and Saturday. And we're putting up a stage, and we're going to have one of the events we're going to have on Friday night is a 111th birthday bash for Count Basie, who was kind of our patron saint of this group, because we started the festival 11 years ago to honor his 100th birthday. He wasn't around. He didn't stay around for it, but we thought we'd do this again. And we're having 3 vocalists with the Mile High Jazz Band, my big 18-piece band. We're having Cindy Laval. We're having June Joplin, who's the owner of Comic Coffee and a fine singer. And then we're having Pat Esters, who is another fine jazz singer and also has a little bit of a gospel feel to what she does. She's involved also in another event that weekend, which is a jazz brunch that we're having over at Sassafras.
So many events are taking place with this. 60 different opportunities to see live music, to hear some lectures and educational presentations. There are going to be films about music, like you mentioned, the presentation on the harmonica. So really, whatever type of music people are interested in, or wherever their interests lie with learning about music and being a part of this, there's really something for them there. And on top of that, this event, in addition to bringing in some really high caliber talent, is going to feature a lot of local artists.
Yes, that's the one thing about this. We really emphasize that we have all this talent in this area. And years ago we had a lot of casinos. The casinos would be going, and they would have 7 bands, because there would be 7 major casinos in the area, and there would be an 8th band, or maybe it was six bands, and there would be a 7th band, which was called the relief band. And these people would go in so the casinos wouldn't have a dark night. So the musicians who were in the regular band could go, could take the night off, wash their socks or whatever they had to do. And then this relief band would come in, and they'd read the show that Dean Martin was doing one night, and they'd read the show that Elton John maybe was doing another night, or so things like that. So they would come in, and these people were fantastic musicians. These were the cream of the cream. We still have a number of those performers around. And the tradition of having these top-notch jazz and classical artists around here is still continues. And we really dig out from that source. We use that source for all the different events. I have a couple more things here. We have, speaking of top-notch talent, we have on Saturday night, the 21st. We still have that stage up. We're going to, by the way, on the 22nd, Saturday the 22nd. Yeah, we'll have stage up, and we're going to be alternating some events between Comma Courtyard and 3rd Street, because we need time for the microphones and everything to be changed around. But we end with Mick Gillette Band, and Mick Gillette was the main trumpet player for Tower of Power, and he's put together this band, and it's, from what I've heard, it's really good. And he's amazing. He's a trumpet player, but he also plays some really fine trombone. And the next day, the Sunday, we have that little jazz brunch, which is at Sassafras on Old Hot Springs Road.
Now this is Sunday. This is the final day of the festival.
The final day of the festival.
This is the big finale. What do you got planned?
Well, we have, let me see, let's make sure I don't miss anything at this point. We have a jazz brunch with 2 seatings, one at 10 o'clock and one at noon at Sassafras. We're going to have the Carson City Rascals, which is a Dixieland group. They're going to be performing. And then we're going to have a gospel group with Pat Esters, and they're going to be performing sort of in between the 2 groups. And then, okay, so you finish up at 2 o'clock. If you run over to the Brewery Arts Center, you can catch the Drum Summit, which is going to feature Liz Brosco, and she's going to be doing some West African drumming. And she has a whole show with dancers. Oh. Yeah, and so that's a wonderful thing. And then there's going to be, that's for like 1 hour. And then we have the Reno Taiko, which is a Japanese drum group. And they use these enormous drums, and it's just great fun to see them really hit at them, bing, bum, 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 bum. And then we have at the Legislative Plaza, by the way, we're using each weekend on each Sunday, we do at least 2 shows on the Legislative Plaza between the legislature and the Capitol building. There's a plaza area there, and then there's this little amphitheater, the Capitol Amphitheater. And so at 4:30, we're doing one event, and this in particular case, it's C.C. Gable with Corky Bennett at the 4:30. And then we're going to end with the Reno Jazz Orchestra. Most of the years, we've used the Reno Jazz Orchestra as the final group. And they're having Ken Pettiford, who's going to be doing some Sinatra tribute songs, because it's Sinatra's 100th birthday year, I believe, or maybe last year was. But so, and that's just going to be great. And we get great crowds for the Reno Jazz Orchestra. Again, these are some of the fine musicians who are around playing for the Relief Band and the other casino bands. And
so that wraps it up with
that's pretty much it.
Several weeks of really fantastic music and arts events right here in the community. Let everybody know one more time what the website is that they can go to access this schedule.
Okay, so if you go to jazzcarsoncity.com, you can get all this information. And we're still updating it. Because there are always some last-minute changes. And just it's a lot of data to put in,
right?
To get that going.
So a full schedule sponsored by a number of different groups around the Nevada Arts Council, the Brewery Arts Center,
the city has been very helpful.
City. So this is a fantastic opportunity for Carson City residents to really get out there and take part in supporting the music and art scene in our community.
Sure is.
All right, David. Thank you so much for being here today to share with us all about Jazz and Beyond. Again, go to the website, check out the schedule. There is certainly a concert there for anyone, for all music tastes to attend.
Thank you.
All right, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm Cortney Bloomer. We'll see you next week.